वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavat Gita as it is, chapter 2, entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized, reading from text 29 through 33. Text 29. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidinam Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya Ascharyavatchainamanya shrunoti Shrutvaapyenam veda chaiva kaschit. Translation: some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Text 30. Dehi nityanavadhyayam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Translation: O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. Text 31. Swadharmapi chavekshya navikampitum arhasi dharmadhi yuddha chayonyad kshatriyasya na vidyate. Translation: considering your specific duty as a kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Text 32. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadwaram apavritam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddham idrisham. O Partha, happy are the kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Text 33. Atha chaityaninam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtim va hitva papam avapshasi. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duty. Janthasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gora Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these verses that we read, the first one is very famously known as the amazing verse of Bhagavad Gita, because every line has the word amazing in it. So this verse is very lovingly called as the amazing verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 2, text 29. So the amazing verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Srila Prabhupada, in his translation, he is saying that the first line says that Ashcharyavat Pashyati means some look on the soul as amazing. So the looking is amazing. Then the second line says Ashcharyavat Vadati means some people speak about the soul as amazing. And the third line is saying Ashcharyavat Shrunoti means some hear about the soul and think of him as amazing. So Ashcharyavat, amazing, this, if you just, there are actually three hidden meanings that Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan also points out. That there can be two, like one of the meanings, one of the interpretations that Srila Prabhupada has given us is that some look on the soul as amazing. There can be two more interpretations that Baladev Vidyabhushan has also given, which Srila Prabhupada has hinted in his purport. So we'll just talk about that. So Baladev Vidyabhushan additionally adds on that it can be explained actually in two more different ways, which means Ashcharyavat means some people who are amazing look on the soul. So Prabhupada here is talking about some look on the soul as amazing. So what is amazing here? The soul is amazing, correct? Some look on the soul that is amazing. But another way of explaining it, some amazing people, only amazing people, some people who are only amazing, they look upon the soul. That is also another interpretation. Another one is, and some people look amazingly at the soul. So the looking is what is amazing. So this is, different ways of interpreting the same line of Ashcharyavat. So similarly, even the second line, which is Ashcharyavat Vadati, means some people speak about the soul as amazing. So amazing people speak about the soul, or some people speak amazingly about the soul. So these are three different ways that the same principle can be explained. The third line, Ashcharyavat Shrunoti. Some people hear about the soul and think of him as amazing. So the hearing is what is amazing. Or some amazingly, can describe the soul so beautifully. So amazingly can describe him. That, that hearing that is amazing. So like this, we can understand that Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Sanskrit is such a beautiful language that, each word, when it is used in different contexts, can give different meanings. So it is our acharyas and their mercy that we can get the interpretations as it is. So some looking on the soul as amazing, some looking on the amazing soul, and some people who are amazing, they look upon the soul. These three kinds of explanations, basically meaning that the soul is amazing. The subject matter itself is amazing. The subject being discussed, which is the soul, that is amazing. The people who are discussing the amazing soul, they are amazing. So like that, this is how we understand this particular verse, which is the amazing soul. Next, moving on, text 30 is describing that, O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. So, Krishna is again, concluding that he's just completely trying to destroy Arjuna's illusion with proper knowledge. Proper knowledge, it always leads to proper action. Improper knowledge will lead to improper action. So therefore, we always need to be sure that we are getting proper knowledge. So Krishna is trying to give this proper knowledge to Arjuna. And it is directly talking about, Krishna is directly talking here about addressing one of the desires of Arjuna, that, he really did not want to, give any, be the cause of destroying his family and giving grief to so many people. So Krishna is directly addressing that he who dwells in the body can never be slain. So therefore you need not grieve for any living being. So directly Krishna is attacking Arjuna's statements and telling that you need not worry, oh my dear Arjuna, that you are not slaying the body. You are actually not even, the body is which is going to just get changed, but the soul is never slain. And verses 31 through 33, Krishna is presenting to Arjuna arguments that, what is the importance of dutiful fighting. Dutiful fighting means Arjuna is a Kshatriya. So being a Kshatriya, what is his main duty? What is his prescribed duty? So these three verses are talking about Arjuna performing his prescribed duty of fighting and not fleeing the battlefield, which will not lead to any kind of, good, but only it will get, if he flees from the battlefield, people will ridicule him and will talk bad about him. So Krishna is talking about, just the result of dutiful fighting by Arjuna in these next three verses. So that's why I thought of reading 31, 32 and 33, because the message conveyed in these three verses is the same. Krishna is stressing upon Arjuna's prescribed duty as a Kshatriya. So text 31 is saying, considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better enjoyment for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. So Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that you are doing this as just as a, just as being bound by your duty. So whatever will be the resultant reaction, you should not be worried about it, because you are just engaged in actual prescribed duty that befits your nature as a Kshatriya. So, the literal meaning of Kshat in Sanskrit is harm, and Trayate means to deliver, means to protect. So one who protects people from being harmed is called as a Kshatriya, or the protectors of the society are called as Kshatriya. So Krishna is saying that your specific duty as a Kshatriya is that there is no other engagement, better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. Based on dharma, you're supposed to be fighting. You're not supposed to just let these, slayers go just like that. They have done atrocities. We'll see later how Krishna is talking about the aggressors. How Krishna is categorizing the Kauravas as being aggressors. So we'll talk about that later when it comes in there. But Krishna is directly saying that, fighting against the Kauravas is actually your religious prescribed duty. And if you are doing that, you should not hesitate in carrying out your prescribed duty. So, fighting for a Kshatriya is equivalent to a Brahmana's performance of fire sacrifices. It's on the same level. Just like the prescribed duty of a Brahmana is to perform fire sacrifices, similarly, fighting on religious principles is prescribed duty for the Kshatriya. So, Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that by fighting in this way, that Arjuna will not suffer sinful reactions in this battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna is assuring that to Arjuna, that you need not worry, my dear Arjuna, that you will not be incurring any kind of sinful reactions by engaging in a warfare against the Kauravas. Similarly, text 32 is stressing on the same point. He's saying, Krishna is saying, O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors to the heavenly planets. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that those who are just followers of the Karma Kanda, doing proper religious activities, doing their actions based on, the Vedic scriptures, in the sense that even if they are having no connection of offering the resultant actions to Krishna, reactions to Krishna, if they are just following the Karma Kanda, they actually are people who are following the injunctions of the Vedas. So such people actually get elevated to the heavenly planets. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that why are you fearing that your relatives will not be, having any proper welfare? They actually, you are, by defeating them in this battle, you are actually going to send them to the heavenly planets, because they are also engaged in the warfare. What is Krishna's point? Let's try to understand. Krishna is saying, yes, you will engage in battle because of religious duty as a Kshatriya, and you will defeat your relatives who are on the other side. Those relatives are also fighting against you. But because they are also living up to their principles of a Kshatriya, they are fighting in a battle, then they lose. So their suffering of their karma, of their bad karma, is taken care of by their defeat on the battle. And as soon as they leave their body, the doors to the heavenly kingdom actually opens for them. So Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, don't worry about your relatives who are dying on the battlefield. The karma of their, resultant action is destroyed in this battlefield itself. The very fact that they are giving up and they are losing the battle means their karma is gone. So they will get elevated to the heavenly planets for enjoying in the heavenly planets the reactions of their good karmas. So Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that you should not be lamenting that either you or your relatives will have any other reaction other than going to the heavenly planets. Later, if we see, Krishna actually it's revealed in the later on chapters that because all of these, even the people who died, even the soldiers who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the warriors who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they not only got heavenly kingdom as their destination, but they actually were liberated, because they left their body seeing the smiling lotus face of Sri Krishna. Because they left their body looking at Krishna's beautiful smiling lotus face, they were actually, all of them were liberated. Not just heavenly planets, but they were all liberated. So that is the benefit of leaving our body in the presence of Krishna, which was the opportunity given to all the people who left their bodies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, even the animals. You know, the animals who sometimes because of the warfare they got hurt, they sometimes left their body. So even the animals were delivered because they left their body in the presence of Krishna. Text 33 is explaining that if, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So Krishna is saying, he's giving what will happen good in 31 and 32. He's saying, okay, this is what good will happen if you fight based on your religious principles. But then 33, he's saying that if you don't fight, what is the reaction? That you will be incurring sins for neglecting prescribed duties. So it's not an easy task to, be the follower of prescribed duties. We have to take it extremely seriously. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna, that he can't take it lightly. So, this is what, I would like to, Srila Prabhupada very, very beautifully gives this wonderful analogy. Prabhupada says that there was once a soldier who fought very bravely on behalf of his country. He fought in the battle. He injured many, and he killed many soldiers on the other side. And he came back victorious. And when he came back victorious, the country for whom he went to fight, the government was so pleased by the soldier's act of, of showing his great fighting skills, that the government offered him, Purple Heart. Purple Heart is that medallion, just like Ashok Chakra, how in India people get Ashok Chakra, to just show that they're so, to reward their valor, basically. So similarly, here the soldiers are given something called as the Purple Heart. So the government gave the soldier Purple Heart, recognized him very nicely, thanked that particular soldier for all that he did and fighting so bravely against the enemies. So this soldier was very happy. So after receiving that Purple Heart, he came back to his own town, and the people of his town were so happy they received him. He was the pride of the town because he had won the Purple Heart and he had done such great service to his government and to his country. So everyone rejoiced him, and there was one person who was very envious of this soldier. So he got into a fight with this soldier. And the soldier being, they were fighting very badly. They were fighting. And somehow this soldier killed, this person. He killed this other man. And as soon as this man was killed, the police came. They arrested this soldier and they put him behind bars. And the soldier started complaining that I killed millions and millions of people in the border. When I went to fight, I killed millions of people. And the government came and rewarded me, recognized me. But look at me now, I killed one person on my own in my own town. And the same government has put me behind bars. What kind of injustice is this? So Srila Prabhupada uses this analogy to explain to us that what it means to act according to prescribed duty and what it means to act against the wishes of God. So because the soldier was acting on behalf of the government, the soldier was, when he was killing on the border, he was actually killing on behalf of the government. He was not doing it for his own satisfaction. He was doing it for the government. He was killing for the government. He was not doing it for his own personal gain. But when he came back to his own town, he actually killed the other man for his own personal purpose. Because he got into a fight. There was no government. He was not acting on behalf of the government. And that is why the same government punished him. So this is the difference between acting on behalf of God and acting according to our own whims and fancies. So this is what Krishna is trying to explain to Arjuna. That, my dear Arjuna, I am telling you to fight, so you should fight. That's it. So when we are instructed something to do on behalf of the spiritual master, on behalf of Krishna, and by engaging in our prescribed duty, then there is no karma. There is nothing wrong. There is no wrong that can happen. But if we start acting according to our own whims and fancies, then that becomes a problem. So with this, I will end today. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. That these people who died on the battlefield, they were liberated by Sayujya Mukti. So, of merging into the effulgence of Krishna, because they left in Krishna's presence, So even the Kauravas, they were awarded Sayujya Mukti.
Okay, Mataji.